in the last webinar that we did for the Lead Blaster 1000 email opt-in challenge, I mentioned that I think the easiest way for us to do this, and a way that you can get a lot of benefit from doing this challenge, is by picking up on some upcoming product launches, okay? And specifically, I mentioned that it might be a good idea to look for high ticket affiliate launches that are coming up, okay? So they haven't happened yet, but they're going to happen in future, maybe in the next sort of 3 or 4 weeks. And the places to find those are in websites like jvnotifypro.com and JV Newswatch, which is under the same banner, I believe, and also munchai.com. So I'm going to look at a couple of these in this video, but also before I go there, let me just remind you, in case you were not on that webinar, why I suggested this is a good idea to do this. Now, it doesn't have to be high ticket, but it would be beneficial if it is high ticket, obviously, because if you sell, you can make a lot of money from it. But what you're looking for is something that's got a little bit of longevity in it. If you, for example, if you have picked up on some programs like Advert Suite, that's a quite recent one, and that's selling really well, or Video Maker FX, both top sellers in JVZoo. And you know, those kind of products that have got some longevity in them, this kind of evergreen products that are going to be around for a long time, you would know then, you would be in a very, very good position. And if you had got in there with the first mover advantage and were able to maintain your rankings, you would probably have been making a lot of money by now, and probably still will be making money ongoing. Okay, so that's basically the game that we're playing now. You will notice that I start to use this terminology a lot. I'll call it a game. Okay, so the reason I'm doing that is because if you think about it like a game, it stops the overwhelm. Okay, if you think about it just like a game, because it is really just a game. Okay, so we're just prodding and poking and finding some ways that we can get a breakthrough, to get more traffic, to get more conversions, to get more leverage, whatever it might be. Okay, see it as a game, and then the overwhelm suddenly disappears, and it becomes like a place of fascination where you're trying to figure out what is actually going to work here, rather than looking at it and think, oh man, I've got all this work to do. Okay, so if you can look at it like that, you change the mindset, you change your approach, you change your mentality towards it, and it becomes more like a fun kind of a challenge. Okay, so if you see it like that, then hopefully it's going to help you to get that breakthrough for any campaign that you do. So anyway, before I go further, let's have a look at these. Okay, so what I showed you in that webinar was some Chrome extensions that are kind of using this strategy. So you can see here, Commission Cobra review. Obviously the product he's promoting is called Commission Cobra, and if we check on FatRank to see where he is in the rankings for this, you can see he's position number 1. That is the power of the Chrome extension store. Okay, so the Chrome web store, is very, very, very powerful. Look at this one here. Learn how to make money online. Okay, you would think that's kind of a hard keyword to rank for. Okay, so when we look at this, it's got a picture. Okay, it's got like 100 words. You would think if you had that in a WordPress site, you ain't going to be anywhere near the rankings for the keyword learn how to make money online, right? So when we come in here and we check it with FatRank, we can see here the Chrome extension page, or the Chrome web store page, is sitting at number 22. There ain't no way you would even get close to that with a WordPress post like this. You would not get anywhere near it. See, the thing is with this as well, if you know what you're doing, and if you understand how we can use these titles here, like I teach in the Rank Attack SEO system, you will know that we could start with something like this, and we could start to bring it down more narrow, so it would be eventually start to rank for how to make money online. And then you would be hoping that as you get more traffic in, that traffic would send enough positive user behavior signals, which is the time spent on your content, anything that's interactive, such as commenting, such as installs if it's a Chrome web store, such as social sharing, etc., etc. You would think then that we have a good chance, if you've got decent quality content, that you could start to move up rankings for even more competitive keywords that have got a huge amount more traffic. But the problem is you need to get the real traffic to get rankings for keywords like this. Why? Because the volume is needed when you get there. Okay, the volume is needed when you get there. Now you can also do backlinking as well. I'm not saying that you can't. I'm just saying that if you're looking at the user behavior signals and how it works, when you're able to go and find your content in the search results, you're able to get some click-throughs on that search result onto your content, so that people watch your video, 60, 70, 80, 90%, or they spend a couple of minutes on your web page, or they come into a page like this and they click and install. All of that is positive user behavior signals that Google can pick up on, and it's going to rank you higher. Why? Because it sees that there's positive activity for that keyword that it suggested your content for. Okay, so it thinks, okay, I have sent this traffic, X amount of traffic to this page, and overall the activity is looking good. It's got like 60% retention time, or it's got 2 minutes time spent on the site. People are installing this, or people are social sharing. That is positive user behavior signals, and that's what we can do with this kind of thing. So that combination of the power of the Chrome Web Store, of the power of understanding the positive user behavior signals that we can get from things like Rank Attack SEO system, using tools like VidAttack Alpha, etc., is very, 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 very powerful. Okay, now what we can do here is go and have a look at how we can find some product launches that are coming up, and I will show you 2 sites. Now before I go further, I mentioned this site on the last webinar, okay, JV Notify Pro. Now I did mention I thought this was going to be the best place to go and find high ticket products. Okay, now you do not necessarily have to go for high ticket products, but I suggest it's worth looking at, okay, very, very closely looking at, because it's the same amount of effort to sell a high ticket program than it is to sell a product launch that's going to be on JVZoo, for example, around $30 front end. Here's the difference as well with the high ticket stuff, is that often the funnels for the high ticket stuff go even deeper. You can make like easily up to like $20,000 from one customer in affiliate commissions, because they might start off at $1,997 or $3,500 for a product for the front end, and as you go through their funnels, they might have private coaching programs for $10,000 or one-on-one for $50,000 and crazy stuff like that. It might sound crazy to you and me, but people are actually buying that because they actually see these kind of things as an investment if they know who the person is that's going to be doing the coaching, for example, and if they know who the person is has got a lot of success behind them, and they want to replicate that success, basically to sell mentorship and stuff like that, private memberships, private circles, all this kind of stuff, and people with money see it as an investment. They're not looking at it as a cost. They're thinking, right, if I go in there and I spend 50,000, I'm probably going to earn 10 times that within the first 6 to 8 months if I apply myself, kind of thing. And that's the difference with the high ticket stuff. It's a different mindset for the people who are buying it, but you still can put yourself in the place where they are searching for that information, because believe it or not, these people search Google the same as you and me, and they will find your content the same as you and me can for a $37 product. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind, but you do not have to go with the high ticket stuff. I just suggest that you take it into account. So anyway, I did mention that JVZoo Notify, or JV Notify Pro, excuse me, people at JVZoo, JV Notify Pro, I did mention that I had used this before, but hadn't really used in depth to understand or to give a demonstration in the webinar. So I said that I would do a video on it once I understood a little bit more and come back. Now, also I mistakenly said, I made a mistake and I gave wrong information on the webinar, where somebody had asked me about Muncheye.com, why not Muncheye.com for high ticket affiliate stuff, and I said because it's used more for like the JVZoo and the Warrior Plus kind of product launches, $20-30 front end. I was wrong, okay? I was very, very, very wrong there. So my apologies, and I will show you some examples, some fantastic examples from Muncheye.com, okay? So apologies to Chris Munchin. Apologies to the people on that webinar that I gave some wrong information, but that's a good thing because that gives us an extra source of being able to find these product launches that are coming up. Now, the advantage of doing this with product launches as opposed to evergreen products that are already in the market is that these evergreen products already have a bunch of affiliates. They've already kind of got their foot into the sort of marketing channels where they are getting some leverage, and you have to go and compete with them from a standing start. Okay, can be done, of course it can be done, but it's just a little bit harder. Okay, whereas if you are doing a promotion for a product that is not yet launched and you can get that first mover advantage, that could be a massive bonus. Okay, that could be a massive advantage. Okay, that can be massive as far as that you get in the rankings, and it makes it that they have to start moving you from a standing start. Now the thing is, when you get closer to a product launch, you can ramp up. When everybody else is just starting and you've already been established, and you might even be sitting on page one on number one spot, when they start to come to try and challenge you, you can ramp it up at that point. Okay, where they start to challenge you from a standing still position. Okay, you're already on page one or number one, for example. You can take off. You can send more backlinks, you can do more user behavior signals, you can do a VidAttack Alpha campaign, you can do a whole bunch of different things, even if it's just longer tail keywords at that point. Okay, here's why. Because if you start to send a bunch of views, for example, or a bunch of traffic that can get you a whole bunch of installs on a Chrome extension or video views where you've got one link in description is linking to that Chrome store page, then you're basically in control of that traffic. Okay, and you can go and send like 100, 200 clicks from the search engines for long tail keywords. What's happening is inside YouTube, for example, if you're doing this with a video, then you're getting the retention time, and you've got one link in the description, and just by default, whatever that link is starts to rank for those keywords as well. So you can go for the long tail keywords, and you're able to go and take advantage of that situation. If you don't know what I'm talking about as far as the link in the description of YouTube videos, when you're doing the CTR clicks and high retention video views, go and look up Rank Attack SEO System. It's a system that I created quite by accident because we have a tool that will do the CTR clicks, and it will basically watch your video. Okay, so you can put in a bunch of keywords, it will go and find your content for those keywords, it will click through from the search engine, it will watch your videos, and you can set the percentage of time to watch it. So if you got a 20-minute video or a 5-minute video, you can tell it to watch 93%, and it will watch 93% whatever length that is. Okay, if you've got one link in the description, whatever that link is, it will start to move up in the search engines. Now, so there's two ways that we can approach this, where we can be doing that with the videos. Okay, so that we've got that click, but we can also be doing like penny clicks as well from places like Bing ads, and we can do it from YouTube, where we're actually trying to get people from Bing and from YouTube to go over into our Chrome web store and do an install of our product or of our checklist. Okay, so that's another way that we can do it. So there's two approaches there. Now, I did mention on the webinar that I had done an experiment some time ago with a tool called UpViral. Okay, the tool called UpViral wasn't using UpViral. Sorry, let me just rephrase that. I saw in Muncheye.com there was a product launch coming up for a product called UpViral. Now, UpViral's from Wilco. Wilco's done a whole bunch of really popular programs and softwares and products, etc. I knew this was going to be a good launch. Okay, and it turned out it was a $500,000 launch, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, what I did is I basically took his video and I downloaded it and re-uploaded it into my YouTube channel. Okay, I put the link in description to go over to a web page that I created on a site that was a Google News site at that time. Okay, and what happens with Google News is it will start to pick up and get syndicated. Okay, there's a lot of people, for example, using RSS feeds, so pulling this content into the news sites, into the affiliate blogs and all that kind of stuff, and you start to build up backlinks from there, okay? And plus you get the first initial rankings boost as well, which can bring the first initial traffic in as well, which again is the user behavior signal. So there's a whole bunch of different things going on there that a simple Google News post can do for you positively, okay? So it's very, very easy. It's not hard to do, okay? So going from there, let's come into the JV Notify Pro, okay? So we're 15 minutes in and I still haven't got there. Right, so maybe we'll do a part 2 of this, okay? Let's cut this video for now and we'll do a part 2 where we're just going to kick off from the JV Notify Pro, okay?